A masked man wiped his fingerprints off a doorknob after trying to break in. A stranger rang a doorbell in the middle of the night, calmly saying he was looking for someone for a knife.
What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out here because I'm her neighbor and you have her open the door.
These aren't scenes from a horror movie. They're real moments caught on Ring cameras. Homes are supposed to be safe, but these chilling clips prove that danger can show up right at the front door. In April 2021, a woman named Shea Bryant and her husband were at home in North Carolina when their 13-year-old son stepped outside to walk their dog. It was a normal day until their Ring doorbell camera captured something unsettling. A silver BMW stopped right in front of their house. Without any hesitation, a man stepped out and walked straight toward the teenager. He didn't pause or introduce himself. He simply asked if the boy lived in the neighborhood. The Bryant family had always warned their son about strangers, but fear can take over in unexpected ways. At that moment, the boy froze. What made the situation even more disturbing was how quickly it all happened. The man barely stopped his car before approaching. It seemed as if he had been waiting for someone to come outside, or worse, he already knew the family's routine and had specifically targeted the boy. Fortunately, the teenager's father stepped outside before anything could happen. The presence of an adult forced the stranger to come up with an excuse. He quickly claimed he was just wondering about airplane noise in the area. The explanation made no sense.
What you got to ask my son?
I was wondering about the airplane noise.
It was clear that no one would drive through a random neighborhood, stop in front of a house, and wait for a child to walk out just to ask that kind of question. The father wasn't convinced, and the man seemed to realize it. Without saying much else, he got back into his car and drove off. After the incident, Shea Bryant admitted she couldn't stop thinking about what might have happened if her husband hadn't stepped outside in time. The stranger was never identified, and his true intentions remain unknown. If that was unsettling, what happens next will make your skin crawl. Sometimes intruders don't just knock, they come prepared. Once, in the middle of the night at an apartment complex in Toledo, a Ring doorbell camera captured a disturbing encounter. The footage showed a man knocking on the front door with what appeared to be a firearm tucked into his waistband. The homeowner, who didn't recognize him, asked who he was. Instead of giving a clear answer, the man simply replied, "It's me." When questioned further, he waved toward the door, as if that would be enough to convince her to open it. She didn't. As the man walked away, something even more unsettling happened. Another figure emerged from behind a dumpster and followed him. It was clear they weren't alone, but they weren't finished yet. The two men circled around to the back door and attempted to pick the lock. Fortunately, the homeowner had already called the police. By the time officers arrived, the intruders were gone. What they were planning remains a mystery. The first man's nearly empty backpack suggested a robbery, but given the way they tried to lure the homeowner into opening the door, their intentions could have been far worse. To this day, the two suspects have not been identified. But what if the person outside isn't just a stranger, but something even more terrifying? This next case feels straight out of a nightmare. One morning in Texas, a homeowner woke up to find the gate to his backyard wide open. Curious and unsettled, he decided to check his security cameras. What he saw was chilling. In the footage, a man dressed in a full clown costume, complete with a mask and suit, casually walked around the property. In his hand was a knife. He looked into the windows, tested the doors, and appeared to be looking for a way inside. This happened in 2016, during the so-called killer clown craze that spread across the country for a few months. While many people saw it as a prank, others took it much further, using the disguise to commit serious crimes. This case appeared to be one of the more sinister ones. The footage made it clear that the person wasn't just trying to scare someone. He was attempting to break into the house while armed. Fortunately, he never made it inside. After failing to get in, he eventually walked off into the night. A police report was filed, but that was the end of it. The man was never caught. In the end, the homeowner was left with nothing but the terrifying footage of an intruder in a clown mask, lurking outside his home with a knife. Seeing an intruder is terrifying enough. But what if you only hear them? A chilling voice at the door left one TikToker questioning reality. On July 15th, 2022, a TikToker uploaded a chilling video of an unexpected visitor at her home while she was away. The footage captured an eerie voice at the back door, repeatedly asking to be let in. The person behind the voice knocked and scratched at the door, but what made it even more unsettling was that no one ever appeared on screen. But in the bottom right corner of the video, a faint shadow could be seen, just enough to confirm that someone was there, yet they never stepped in front of the camera. The disturbing nature of the clip led to a flood of theories from viewers. Some believed the footage was staged, pointing out the odd positioning of the shadow. Others were convinced that someone with bad intentions had targeted the home, warning the TikToker to be cautious. To this day, no one knows exactly what happened that night. The TikToker never provided further updates, leaving the mystery unsolved. Whether it was a prank, an attempted break-in, or something even more sinister, the footage remains one of the most unsettling clips ever shared on the platform. A random break-in is scary, but a planned one is even worse. An unsettling footage was captured at 1:35 p.m. on October 16, 2018, in Alberta, Canada. The homeowner was at work when he received a motion alert from his Ring camera. Since he rarely had visitors during the day, he immediately checked the live feed. What he saw made his stomach drop. At first, the visitor didn't seem unusual. He was dressed like a typical utility or telecom worker, just like many others in the area. But then, things took a dark turn. The man began banging aggressively on the door and peering through the window. His behavior quickly raised suspicion. Moments later, he put on a glove and started prying at the door, carefully avoiding leaving fingerprints. That's when he motioned for an accomplice to join him. While one man acted as a lookout, the other pulled out a large screwdriver and began forcing the door open. He pried at the lock, using more and more force, determined to break in. Just as he managed to get the door partially open, the homeowner used the Ring camera's two-way talk function, making it clear that someone was watching. The intruders immediately backed off and left. After the footage was released, the homeowner spoke with local police. The video spread on Facebook, where multiple neighbors claimed to recognize the two suspects. But no official arrests were ever confirmed. Based on their actions, it's likely that the men were planning an armed robbery. But without further details, there's no way to know for sure. Some feared they may have had even worse intentions. As of today, there have been no further updates on the case. But some intruders don't just try to break in. They take extra steps to make sure they're never caught. In another disturbing incident, a Ring camera recorded an unknown man approaching a house while wearing an eerie mask. As he reached the front door, the motion sensor triggered the camera, capturing his every move. He grabbed the doorknob, found it locked, and hesitated. Then he knocked. After waiting just a few seconds, he pulled his sleeve over his hand and carefully wiped his fingerprints off the doorknob before walking away. Moments later, the homeowner came to the door and spotted him across the street sitting in a car. When she called out, he sped off. She had no idea who he was or what he wanted. The fact that he wiped his fingerprints suggested he had been in trouble with the law before. There was also something heavy weighing down his front pocket, though it was unclear what it was. With the mask hiding his face, police were never able to identify him or his intentions. Now, a stranger knocking at your door is unsettling, but when they calmly admit they're looking for someone for a knife, it becomes pure terror. A chilling case surfaced in July 2021 when a woman named Amanda Noik uploaded a terrifying video to Facebook. That night, she had been settling in for bed when her doorbell rang. Checking her Ring app, she saw a man with gray hair and a full beard standing outside, knocking and ringing the bell. She didn't recognize him and ignored the knocking. But the man didn't leave. Instead, he kept repeating that he had questions for her. His voice was slow.
I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you.
Emotionless and unsettling. Amanda, home alone, called her husband and then dialed 911. Her husband accessed the camera remotely and decided to confront the man through the speaker. That's when things took a terrifying turn. The stranger, in a cold, flat tone, said he was looking for the girl inside the house for a knife.
What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out here because I'm gonna take her in. You have her open the door?
Then, just as calmly as he had arrived, he walked away, mumbling to himself as he disappeared down the street. Amanda was shaken, but she feared he might target someone else. So she posted the footage online. Thanks to the viral post, the man was quickly identified and arrested. These cases serve as chilling reminders of how a simple Ring camera can capture terrifying moments, some that could have ended far worse if not for a locked door, a security alert, or a quick call to the police.